Welcome back to another drawing session with your buddy Rufus Man. This is our part 2 of the drawing session with Grumilda, our warrior orc / goblin lady. And this is inspired from just creating different characters, the love of D&D and other RPG games and fantasy. So you'll see here that I've created a base layer underneath the lines, and from there I create another layer on top to now differentiate or separate the elements of the piece. So we're talking about separating the skin from the armor, from the hair, and that will translate, towards different pieces of the armor and different pieces of the figure, like the eyes, the teeth. The further up you go in your layers, the more distinct and detailed your stuff's going to get. At this stage, you really want to keep your colors very separate or distinct from each other, like a stark contrast, even though you won't necessarily use those same colors on your actual finishing layers. The strategy, this is something that I learned from other colorists, is it allows you a quick selection. When you want to just draw the armor or just want to draw the skin or the hair, you go to that base layer, select that very distinct color, and then you can do whatever you want on the layer above without affecting the other stuff. Pretty simple, but a huge time saver. Okay, I'm really liking how this is coming together. Now, I'm going to start selecting regions now from my base layers, and now I have another layer on top that I can do for shading. This allows me to get right up to the edges without any issues, and it looks great. Oftentimes I would, as a kid, go, how do they do all this shading in these comics and stuff, and get so close to the lines and not mesh things up? And I really didn't understand how digital painting worked. And as I've studied it and learned from others and practiced, a lot of the tricks are very simple, but very profound. And I would venture to say that's kind of most art tricks in general. Yes, there are some complex tricks or techniques and disciplines to understand and do. Don't get me wrong. There's plenty of ways to go cheap and cheat on art that will show. But there's also, when it comes to illustration, like in comics, for example, or pieces like this, why do it the hard way if you don't have to? If that's your intention, great. But for me, my time is so precious. Whatever I can learn to streamline things that I don't need to elaborate on, all the better. I want to focus my energies and my time on more specific details or the storytelling. I want to make sure that the overall piece is saying something cohesively and in an interesting way. In this case, Grumilda is in action. She's, launching herself into battle. I want to convey the emotion. I want to convey the movement. I want to also, show the unique aspects of her character, like this whole, mace on her left arm, like she's got this prosthetic piece that instead of making it like a hook, she's making it a whole freaking mace, which, once again, proportion and size is also important in your storytelling. She's obviously very strong to be swinging this thing from her wrist. She's clearly got a sensibility on how she dresses herself. She adds, the little minutia really convey a lot of interesting, little hidden details as you study the piece to go, oh, I didn't think about it that way. Oh, you know what? Maybe she's, this kind of character, or, she's not exactly what I thought. There's that 55-5 rule. I believe that very strongly. And the 55-5 rule is 50 feet, 5 feet, 5 inches. In other words, an art piece should have levels of interest at each of those distances. So when you look at an art piece from 50 feet away, it grabs you like, whoa, there's an interesting shape there. Or like the colors. You get closer and you go, oh, 5 feet away, you can now see the piece pretty much as it's intended, right? It's presentational. But then you can get 5 inches close and go, whoa, look at these cool little details. Oh my gosh, I didn't think about this. Or that's clever. Or that's stupid. It's kind of where, an artist can lose opportunities too, or maximize opportunities. For example, that's why for me, it's important to think in those 3 areas. It allows me to keep things popping, things interesting. And overall, I feel it's successful when it comes to narrative-based illustration for comics, sequential art, even just fine art. Let's be honest. And there's a lot of boring fine art out there. There's a lot of, also very intriguing landscapes out there and other artwork because the artist took time to really make it interesting from 50 feet, 5 feet, and even 5 inches away. Wow, I really kind of went on a soapbox there, but I hope that this video has given you a little insight, maybe some inspiration. I always get inspired when I see, original pieces of art or new characters created and see what other artists do and how they solve problems. So if you liked this video, awesome. If you didn't, let me know. But yeah, I think we're pretty much there. Kaboom! Well, guys, thanks so much again for watching. Please like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Share with your friends, and we'll see you next time. Peace out, everybody.